Hello and welcome. You are with News9 Live. The row over introducing Amul Milk and its products in Karnataka has snowballed into a huge controversy, with the BJP finding itself at the receiving end of Vokkaliga anger. The row began after Union Minister Amit Shah said that Amul and Nandini, which the Cooperative milk brand of Karnataka will set dairy in every village in Karnataka, leading to the speculation that KMF will be merged with Amul. Now, JDS and the Congress jumped immediately on the statement and hit out at the BJP government in the state for selling out the brand. The row simmered further after Amul announced that it shall introduce its products in the Karnataka market. After the blowback from the electorate and opposition parties, Karnataka Minister S.T. Somashekar said that Nandini and Amul will not be merged. Now, like I said, and I started this conversation by saying that milk, which is an essential, which all of us drink, cutting across every economic strata, has really been something which has impacted the BJP in the run-up to the elections. How has it impacted the party, which is the ruling dispensation in Karnataka? To speak more on the issue, I'm being joined in the studio by my colleague Varghese. Also joining me, Arun Sundaram of News9 and Bhaskar Hegde, who's the editor of TV9 Kannada Digital. They will join soon with us. Varghese, tell me something. You know, the strange part of it, which I've been asked by many people, is Amit Shah recommends it, Varghese, and says that Amul should enter Karnataka. And you know, suddenly you feel that this entire controversy has snowballed. I mean, if you want to be a fact-finding machine, you'll say, after all, Amit Shah recommended it. Also, we live in a free market. Why not we have more competition? Then we saw, of course, you know, JDS and Congress. Of course, they were all speaking about Kannadiga pride, Kannadiga identity, Nandini's ours, etc., etc. But all that is a kind of a hogwash. I mean, journalists don't look at just the surface. You have to scratch. Don't you think this is clearly political and it is to woo a particular kind of voter in Karnataka, Varghese?
Well, for the opposition, that is the case. They are looking at a particular kind of a voter because there is a lot of statistics involved with this. One is that there are 24 lakh milk producers who are affiliated around 14 to 15,000 cooperatives under the KMF. So you can imagine the families that are associated with it. It's a huge voter that we are looking at. Now, the opposition, they found it was like God-given for them to attack the government with this. What Amit Shah said at that point was that the expertise of Amul as well as that of KMF will be used to set up dairy farming in every village possible. True. So it was his idea of trying to push a development agenda. But the wordings did not go down well, and it was interpreted that Nandini as well as Amul will be merged. Now, was that the case, intention behind it, or was that soon the cooperative of KMF, which a lot of Kannadigas hold close after River Kaveri. So, you know, it is a very emotive issue for them. So that is where the opposition like JDS and the Congress has been harping about this. Right. And this also, it should be noted that the KMF as a cooperative, none of the political parties have been able to control it, though the JDS as well as the Congress have been trying to have its representatives inside the cooperative, but they have not been able to have a complete control over it. It is a very autonomous body in that regard. It is apolitical and autonomous. It works only in the interest of the farmers. And now most of them, what they fear is that some of the benefits that they have been getting from the cooperative might be diluted if it gets merged. And this is what was highlighted. And most of the milk producers belong to central Karnataka as well as south Karnataka, the Vokkaligas being among them, have been infuriated that an institution that they have built is now being taken over. What they see is more of a regional pride being subsumed. Yes, that is something that has caught the attention of the electorate, and that is the BJP in Karnataka has been facing the brunt over this because of it.
Yeah, and the brunt is, of course, from the opposition parties, you know, JDS and the Congress. You know, let's listen to what D.K. Shivakumar had to say on the issue.
ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬದುಕಿನ ರೈತರ ಬದುಕಿನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದು. ಸುಮಾರು 70 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೈತರು ಹಾಲು ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ನಂದಿನಿಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ರೈತರು ಕಟ್ಟಂತ ನಂದಿನಿ ಬರೀ 27, 28 ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸರ್ಕಾರ 5 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸರ್ಕಾರ. ಇವತ್ತು ಅಮೂಲ್ಗೆ ಗುಜರಾತ್ನ ಅಮೂಲು ಅದು ರೈತರದು, ನಮ್ದೇನು ತಕರಾರೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಹಿಂದೆ ತಡೆದು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಪ್ರೋತ್ಸಾಹ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಂತ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೊರಟಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ನಂದಿನಿ ನಮ್ಮೋಳು, ನಮ್ಮ ಹಾಲು, ನಮ್ಮ ಬದುಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ರೈತರು ಸಗಣಿ ಬೂಸ ಹುಲ್ಲು ಹಾಕಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೆಲೆಗಳು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ. ಆದರೆ ರೈತನಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಥರದ ಸಹಾಯ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ರೈತನಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಥರದ ಹಾಲು उत्पादने ಮಾಡೋಂಗೆ सरकार सहाय ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ.
नहीं भाई, हमारा नंदिनी ब्रांड है, कर्नाटक का जबरदस्त है. और हमारी सरकार है ना, कभी उनका कांग्रेस के सरकार में प्रोक्योरमेंट कम था, हमारा डबल हो गया है, प्रोडक्शन डबल हो गया, मार्केट डबल है. और हम पूरा देश भर हम ये कर रहे हैं. ये चुप्पी इलेक्शन के टाइम पे ये राजनीति कांग्रेस और जेडीएस कर रहे हैं, इस बातों में कुछ मतलब नहीं है.
Let's welcome Arun Sundaram of News9 and Bhaskar Hegde, editor TV9, Kannada Digital. Bhaskar Hegde, if I could come to you first. Bhaskar Hegde, it is very clear, I mean, it seems clear, of course you're the expert, that the BJP is buckling. There is pressure on them. So now we are hearing our sources are saying, they're telling us that maybe Amul will defer their entry. They will put their plans in the cold storage and relegate it to the back burner as of now. The entire thing seems to be mired in what is called fear factor, as if some outsider is coming and hurting what is native to Karnataka. Do you think the BJP has really not done very well when it comes to kind of, assure people, the milk producers that, nothing of that sort will happen to them?
Sudha, what you said is absolutely right. I think in this debate on Nandini versus Amul, BJP has, I think, slightly sidetracked on the fail to convince the farmers, particularly the milk growers, on this issue. And to add to what Varghese said, it's very interesting because why JDS and Congress picked up this issue to try to make it an electoral issue. It is, if you see the last month or so, Karnataka was almost bereft of a very good whole narrative set by Congress or JDS. So they were trying to make the same old 40% issue, the corruption issue, even that 40% corruption issue. Now, if we see there are 2 polls were conducted by 2 agencies, independent agencies. So in that agency's feedback, the corruption comes 4th or 5th. So that clearly shows even the narrative set by the Congress and JDS on corruption didn't catch the attention of voters. So they were waiting for some or the other issue, emotive issue to connect with the voters. I think this issue, they tried to grab it and make it a statewide issue. But of course, as you rightly pointed out, so BJP has, I think, not able to handle the issue well.
Right. Arun Sundaram, let me get you in. What you heard, what Bhaskar just now said, that, what my contention is, and of course you're the experts, to say that the BJP has not been able to allay fears. They have kind of buckled when it comes to the onslaught by both JDS and Congress and so far as Nandini is concerned. Now clearly, look at the stages it has passed through, the narrative. It was first, oh my God, Amul is coming, what will happen? Then it was, but Nandini is so cheap, so we will stick to Nandini. It's run very efficiently, it's wonderful, which it is, etc., etc. Now it is slowly inching towards clearly politics. There is no black and white about it. It is very clear that in angering, in trying to push back the milk producers, the BJP has a lot to lose, particularly the Vokkaligas and also the Lingayats. Would you agree?
Absolutely. The narrative has changed. And as I said yesterday, it is more to do with the political bickering or the political one-upmanship rather than anything else at this point of time. Because remember, at the end of the day, it is left to the farmer. The farmer, let me give you some statistics. In the month of February, for instance, Karnataka saw a shortage or shortfall of about 2 lakh liters per day. That was not noticed. It suddenly hit the headlines because milk was becoming a scarce commodity in the run-up to the elections. And the government did precious little because at that point of time, they were perhaps more engaged in getting the poll process through. And now it hits you on the head because you are the consumer, you find that milk is not adequately available. And if you are in the lower middle class in Bengaluru, Nandini was a go-to option if you are looking for something as a wholesome food, as something which is nutritive. Because there is no other brand. There are as many as 8 brands which are available, which includes both private and public sector brands in the regarding liquid milk. But none of them is as affordable as Nandini. So that is where the problem lies, because the farmer has to take a call. The farmer is very, very silent about this whole issue. Probably he's waiting for the polls to get over. So as long as the poll time is on, you will find there's a lot of political posturing, to say the least, Sudha.
Right. You know, Varghese, I want you also to concentrate on this whole Vokkaliga Lingayat. I mean, Vokkaliga more, Lingayat maybe less. It is very crucial. I mean, it's no rocket science to say that their, votes are very, very crucial. But so far as the BJP is concerned, traditionally, if you look at the BJP, do you think, for the benefit of the viewers, do you think they have enough kind of inroads into these two categories, as it were? Because if you have inroads, you can still be, rest assured. But if you have not, you can't lose this opportunity further because of the Amul-Nandini debate.
Well, that is one thing that they have, especially when we look at some of the Vokkaliga leaders like Shobha Karnalaje or R. Ashok, who have been trying to build more bridges with the community. And at the moment, the community's votes seem to be split between the Congress and the JDS. So the BJP has reached its maximum growth in the Lingayat belt, that is the North Karnataka, and to an extent in Central Karnataka as well. So where they can expand only in the South. So they have to be looking at the other dominant community, the Vokkaligas. But this issue would in fact be putting these two people who have been trying to build the bridges with the community on the back foot, because wherever they go, of course, the first question that they've been asked to a large extent has been as to why is something that we have built is being given away.
Right.
So most of them did not have that answers for that. So they said that no, we are trying to look at it, and that's why today we have ST Somshekhar coming and saying this merger is not going to happen.
Yeah.
So don't need to worry about it. It is only the opposition that has been trying to raise it. But the question is, then when that statement was made, most of the BJP leaders were actually quiet about it.
Oh, okay. Bhaskar, I want to bring you in here. You see, the thing is, you just said that how corruption, 40%, it has really come down, right now. So do you think by Nandini actually taking center stage, now everyone is talking about, and BJP having said, no, the merger is not happening, be rest assured. Also saying, some of them saying that, they will only come after the polls are over, so don't be scared. Do you think it's a kind of a success story for the BJP in Karnataka that they have stopped the enemy at the doorstep, as it were, Bhaskar?
I'm not sure to conclude to that point, on that point, because if you see, polling is a month away exactly. Today is 11th, next month 10th is polling. So even this Nandini versus Amul issue, I was really surprised whether the opposition party could sustain this campaign and take it to the end. I'm really doubtful, number one. Number two, BJP, they might have tried to, by sharing statistics and whatever, they might try to stop this. But there are 2 points which I want to add to this debate. It was B.F. Yediyurappa who was the first chief minister in 2008 who introduced the incentive of 2 rupees, which later Siddaramaiah came and he doubled. And then later again in 2009, 19, when the Yadurappa came back, he added one more piece. In addition, in total, they are getting 5 rupees incentive on every liter of milk they put. I mean, they give it to KMF. So in that sense, BJP can say that we are in favor of milk growers. It was we who started this giving incentive to farmers. It was our scheme, which later expanded by Siddaramaiah. They can say, but opposition trying to give a kind of debate, it was Karnataka versus outside. That is where the debate lies, and whether it will catch the attention of voters. I doubt. It may catch the attention of a small segment of voters, but I don't think it will catch the attention of the large community as a whole.
Right. Arun, I want to ask you, this, do you think, Arun, do you think that in this entire brouhaha which is taking place, we hear the way yesterday when you spoke to us, you told us how, the Milk Federation in Karnataka is run very efficiently. They've done very well for themselves. It is, if I recall right, I mean, we heard you in silence complete. And just now, Varghese, my colleague, also told me that how, it is independent, it's autonomous. So I want to ask you that, do you think there can really be any political pressure? Giving incentive and all is part of the process. It is part of what happens, it has to happen, 2 rupees, 5 rupees, and later whatever. But do you think that the federation will allow itself to be politicized to such an extent? Because let's not forget, milk is an essential.
Well, it depends on how you define the term politicization. Because remember, at the end of the day, the chairman of the Cooperative Federation, that is the KMF, happens to be a politico. For 9 long years, you had H.T. Revanna, the MLA from Hole Narsipur, at the helm of affairs. And I mean, I'm not being very partisan, but look at it this way. Things were working out well. There was a huge mega dairy which came up in Hassan, which is capable of now producing about 6 lakh liters a day. So it's given a boost to the dairy industry. By and large, I would agree with your assessment that yes, while at the helm of affairs, there is a politico running the show, but the day-to-day affairs and the day-to-day management is in the hands of professionals. So to a large extent, it runs like a professional body. There is some kind of a consultative approach in the sense that you do have the government intervening in the form of the incentive or the subsidy or whatever you call it being given out by them. The government also happens to be a large consumer, because remember, Bhaskar, my colleague, made a mention of Siddaramaiah. Siddaramaiah was the man who introduced what is called as Shira Bhagya. Shira Bhagya was a scheme under which milk was procured from the cooperative system to be funneled into the midday meal scheme. This was it had two, as I said earlier, it had 3 objectives. One was to incentivize the farming community. 2, to ensure that the attendance in government schools improved. And 3 was to provide an additional source of nutrition as far as young children are concerned, school-going children are concerned. So it was a hat trick of sorts. But at the end of it, by and large, the system has worked. The only issue is now whether the entry of a large player, because remember, at the end of the day, what has happened is private players are already in existence, or they are operating for the last 20-25 odd years. It's not something new. It's not as if the entry of this giant from the cooperative sector is going to change the landscape. They've already been there, but they've not made significant progress. The point is, the fear among perhaps the people in the cooperative sector is, what if the farmers are weaned away by a larger amount of incentive or larger amount of procurement price? Because if you look at it closely, on a sachet of toned milk that the KMF retails, which is at about 38 rupees, the procurement price, everything put together, is about 30 rupees. There is very very little margin or wafer thin margin as far as the KMF enjoys.
Right.
Now, compare that to something like an Amul or certain other entities
Yeah.
where
Point.
the price is in excess of, say,
Right.
42 or 43 rupees.
Yes.
The margin is clearly high. So
Very
they
high,
are in a
yes.
better position to afford payment of a higher fees or price
Right,
to
Arun.
the
Yeah.
dairy farmer.
Yes, Arun. Let me go to Bhaskar. Bhaskar, this is a pure political question. You know, we all know that the BJP is a cadre-based party. Every decision is taken right at the top and then it filters down. We have seen since Bommai has taken over, many visits by Arun Singh to Bengaluru to speak with him and his party colleagues, etc. This time around, look at it this way, Bhaskar. You know, Amit Shah, he's the one who recommends that Amul should enter Karnataka. But somehow now, the BJP in Karnataka, you know, and also the ruling dispensation seem to be saying, hey, let's take it slow. Not now, maybe after the poll. Somewhere do you think that the BJP is extremely nervous and wants to really do the right things just ahead of the polls, Bhaskar?
So what you said is absolutely right, because they don't want to disturb any, more than disturb, they don't want any kind of anti-BJP narrative being set or any kind of, the stories, particularly among farming communities, going against farmers. Particularly because, see, South Karnataka is the one place where not only South Karnataka, even coastal central Karnataka and North Karnataka also, this dairy is very, very vibrant in Karnataka. So therefore, they don't want to upset or antagonize milk growers. So therefore, I think BJP state leadership might have conveyed it to the central leadership that better to put it on hold for the time being and let us wait after the election. That's quite possible.
Right. And with that, that's a wrap. I've completely run out of time. Thanks is due to both Bhaskar as well as Arun, and of course to you, Verghese. Thank you for joining us. And like the BJP saying, no merger, only if they come will there be a merger. Amul versus Nandini. Let's see if it still sustains. Thank you for watching.